What the fuck is it? It fucking hops. It probably fucking flies. It eats its dead brothers. I saw some snacking on each other. That thing is the size of my fucking hand. I cannot sleep here. Dude, it's otherwise gorgeous as fuck. Like, beautiful. But look, just in this you can see like 5 of them. They're fucking everywhere. Fucking gross. Like, it's a pretty beautiful landscape. There's the sunset over there. You know, Nevada is gorgeous. And sometimes you have to run away from the most gorgeous parts because it's covered in fucking bugs that eat each other and are the size of your hand. And you come right down the road and there's this park. It's awesome. There's not a single one of those fucking terrifying things here. Not even a one. So, I guess this is where Falcor and I are sleeping for the night. And you know what? Falcor don't care. I don't care. Would have been nice to camp, you know, in actual, like, campground. But Jesus fucking Christ, you guys saw that shit. I'm not sleeping there. Anyway, this is where we're at. The state of Falcor right now. It's packed with shit. A towel. Never leave home without your towel, right? You read Hitchhiker's Guide. Never leave home with all the shit you're moving into storage at your wonderful fucking human's place when you get there. And there's the bed. For now, you can see how high it comes up to the ceiling. So I might swap it out, like I've said like a billion times, if you've been watching the live streams from Slow News Day and other things like that. But yeah, this place is cushion enough for me. There's a bathroom over there, running water, gorgeous sunset to watch, and I'm good to go without any bugs. Works for me. It's nice to be in fucking Central. Yeah, I made it all the way to Central Nevada today. That's pretty amazing. Came from Santa Cruz and just drove straight through. Missed most of the traffic and got all the way here. There were some things that I would have liked to do along the way, but I am anxious to get to Colorado Springs and unload this beast and also see someone I love dearly. So yeah, it's good to be here with the sunset in the background. My adventure hat intact, no bugs eating me, no bugs gonna get into Falcor, and get a nice sleep, hit the road early tomorrow, see how far I make it again, tally ho and whatnot. Salt Lake, Utah. It's gorgeous. It's a pretty nice day. I don't know, maybe 70 degrees. It's pretty weird to go from the ocean and be back at the ocean in the middle of the desert, in the middle of the high desert. Like the exact same ecology too, except it smells like poop. This is pretty gross. But it's gorgeous. It's super refreshing. I was just walking along the shoreline for a second and I was reflecting on how interesting it is that the school I just left is called Crossroads High School. And, you know, when you go to the Crossroads, you're expected to make a choice. You're being offered something, but in return, you have to offer something back, and it's usually something that you love or hold dear or need, you know. That's the trade-off at the Crossroads. And I went to the Crossroads, literally, that's what it was called, Crossroads High School. Didn't even think about it. And I was offered way more money than I had ever made as a teacher before. Something to the tune of like $20,000 more. Like way more money. and way easier job than I'd had in a long time. I had like 4 students in some classes. Like, it was ridiculous. And I could have stayed forever, you know? Had comfy retirement, I had paid vacation, I have summers off, I have sick pay, all the things that people kind of want. I worked really hard to get there. There I was at the crossroads, and I could trade basically a part of my soul to keep that. What it came down to is I was happier somewhere else, doing something else, following my heart, you know? And I felt really guilty, really guilty. You know, a lot of teachers have like a feeling like they're there to protect kids or buffer kids between, you know, something that can really damage them and keep them safe and help them grow and all these things. And so if you don't do that, if you're called to do it and you don't, like, there's a guilt, or at least for me there was. And I realized that I had become a teacher because I felt guilty if I didn't, like, help the world in some way. And I'm really lucky. I worked with this beautiful woman named Julie, and she was really in touch with herself and the world. And she, you know, when I was explaining that to her, like, I think I need to leave teaching, but I just feel bad because you know, someone has to do it, and I'm good at it, and I love it technically, you know, but I have to go do something else. I'm going to start my business, or I'm going to just find something along the way or whatever, but I just have to go. And she said to me, you know, wherever you go, you're going to be of service, and wherever you go, you're still going to teach people, because that's who you are. It doesn't matter where you do it, and it doesn't matter with who you do it, because that's what you're going to do. And I was so grateful to have someone in that moment where I was choosing to walk away from the crossroads to reaffirm for me, you know, because guilt could have stopped me and brought me back in. And it didn't, partially because of her. It's actually really synchronicity maximum too, when she had this book that she found for that exact day. There was like a daily prayer thing, and for that exact day, the prayer was something like, you know, follow your heart, because no matter where you go, you'll be of service and be who you are. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is how life works, right? Puts me in a school called Crossroads, at the crossroads of my life, offering me something in exchange for something to see if I'm really down to follow my heart or not, you know? Kind of got to prove it. I'm proving it. Here I am in the desert. It's what you do after you leave the crossroads, right? If you don't take the offers, you wander through the desert. I'm on my hero's journey, I guess, and couldn't be more perfect along the way. So glad to commemorate it, even though it smells like dung and there's a billion bugs that are like so thick they're in a cloud when they move and make a sound that you can hear from feet away. But yeah, let's take in some more of that scenery, because it is fucking beautiful even despite the bugs and the smell. my course that I've taken so far. I started up here near Everett. I went down 5 for a minute until Portland. I stopped there and hung out with my sister, as you saw. My mom was with me, and then I continued on. I went down to Grants Pass on 5, and then I got off on this 199 spurt. That was a gorgeous, gorgeous drive. That was all windy and twisty up through the mountains and back down. From there, I went down 101 on the coast, down here. And it doesn't show the road I took here, but I went on 1, really, really on the coast. That shit was crazy windy and awesome. I came back in to San Francisco, crossing the Golden Gate Bridge. Then I came down to the Santa Cruz area where Steve was. When I left, I came back up to 80. And I basically stayed on 80 for 2 days, which is in itself crazy. I stopped in Winnemucca. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And then this was 1 day, this next part. 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, all the way to Salt Lake City. Keep going in 1 day. 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80. 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80. To Laramie. This little spit I talk about, that was gorgeous coming into Colorado right there. 187, I think it was. 287 maybe. And then back down to 25 through Denver, all the way down to Colorado Springs. That's the journey so far. I'm gonna leave soon and head back up north and into Canada, but you'll see that in another video.
You can
I can only
this
get
to
yours.
Facebook with just my chin. That'd be amazing. I don't have a face. Never had a face.
We're at the Garden of the Gods. Wow.
Cheese.
I finally made it to Colorado Springs. I drove for 14 hours, I think, to get there in 1 day. I didn't have to do that, but I really wanted to do it because there was not a lot in between that I wanted to see that I hadn't seen before. So I decided on a long haul, got into Colorado Springs kind of late the other day, and here I am at Garden of the Gods. It's an amazing place. It was actually ceded to the city or the state as long as they kept it free always for people to go to. And so it's really cool. It should be like a national park, but instead it is a smaller park that you can go to for free, which I really love. It's just really, really pretty, as you can see. And when I was coming into Colorado after that long drive through the really flat and boring areas of sort of eastern Utah and all of Wyoming. If you haven't driven through Wyoming, it's just ungodly boring. There's not even that many places where you could stop and like stretch or buy something. It's just like plains and hills and wind and fields of grass like for hours and hours and hours. So that was kind of brutal. And then getting into Colorado off this little highway called 287, which gets you from 80 east and west down to 25, which is north and south. And 287 is this little spit of a highway, and it's gorgeous. Like, it's amazing. And I was coming in the evening. There was a thunder shower. There was lightning, rain. There was rainbows, double rainbows. It's already so beautiful. There's antelope jumping in the fields as I drove by. Like, it was like the most epic welcome I could have had. And then I got even further south, and the Rockies were to my east, and it was sunset, and the sky was just like shooting the sun rays of godliness like down through the clouds, like, you know, those beams that are so gorgeous, into this beautiful red sunset that was illuminating like all of the Rockies perfectly, and it was overwhelming.
You don't listen to these signs, the Illuminati will kill you. You must have a permit and climbing gear to go through these bushes. But you can't climb even if you have the permit or climbing gear, but it's just to walk through here. You need a permit for climbing.
Otherwise, the Masons.
The end. There was already 6 or 7 masons in a circle lighting a child on fire. It was a little...
Shit's nuts right now.
Pretty weird. There's people just staring at us like we're fucking crazy because we don't have the tattoos that they have.
We're totally normal though.
Completely normal.
They just haven't noticed yet.
Don't worry about it. That tree was built in 1472 by the Russian settlers. It's the truth. It's the goddamn truth. Building trees. Fucking handmaidens. Are we on?
Yes,
are we filming?
We're going.
We're ready?
We're gold.
So a lot of people don't know this. Being a liaison of this park, I frequent it. I've been here twice in my life. The German settlers came in the late 1600s and added these snake holes. So every year on the solstice, all those holes on the side, snakes shoot out and get the sinners, take the sinners back into their caves and devour their bodies. So if you're ever here on the solstice, that's why they close the park at 9, because the snakes that the Germans installed will come out and they will eat you. The end. Basic idea of what's happening here in this little world. It's a happy little world with happy little trees. It's like the trees that they built at that park. Get a basic idea before I put the background trees in. I'm using blue in there because these trees are going to be blue, and you can't really tell that that gray has the yellow in it. So the blue and yellow fight, like every time there's a gang war, it's like blue versus yellow. You've ever paid attention to the Fox News? And it'll make the fucking trees pop against the yellow. The trick I learned in fucking prison sex camp. Oh yeah, Nom.
AKA prison sex camp.
Oh, that's what we called it. Like most people just call it Vietnam. But I call it 6-year orgy. And sometimes brushes try to leave a hair in there, and you just put it down here and you beat the fucking devil out of it. Like Bob Ross taught us back in 6-Year Orgy. Did you know Bob Ross was a fucking serviceman?
No, I didn't.
We came in art class one time, we figured that's probably why he was so fucking hell-bent on everything being so goddamn happy.
This was his, like, PTSD therapy.
I think so.
I mean, for real, though, like, that probably helped so many people. Still does today.
I'd imagine. Actually, one of my friends, he ran an art gallery down on the Art Walk on Santa Fe when it was a little bit better. I don't mean to knock it, but it's not like what it was. But he set up basically like art therapy for all these vets at the VFW.
Pretty rad.
He would let like civilians show in the back. He's actually written a couple books about it, and I think he has a podcast. I'll have to like send you that because he's a rad fucking dude. He also like wrote something about like the effects of mushrooms and marijuana helping with PTSD and shit. Not until the second week. It just wasn't what I expected.
What's up, people?
I found Jason Gay, Colorado.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, we're here at Johnny's Art Show.
Yes.
First Friday?
It's gonna rock.
Third Friday?
Third Friday?
I don't know what this is called. First Friday?
Some Friday.
We're at an art show.
It
Yay.
is a Friday.
Eyes Open live reporting in Denver, Colorado.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out, like, we're trying to get, we've got a lot of, like, headshots and stuff, like, Venom, so we're trying to find, like, over all that stuff.
Right.
Alright guys, here's Falcor all packed and ready. I'll show you how I kind of have it set up in these super cool boxes that Steve made. It is a little stormy and thundery out here, but if you pull the first box out, you can see I have kitchen stuff, basically cooking, food, that kind of stuff in there. You pull the other box out, I have mostly my kind of camping gear. I've got my hammock, my hiking bag. The stove is actually in here with some other sort of kitchen materials and camping gear like tarps and stuff. I've got some tire irons and duct tape and just kind of utilitarian things over there. I've got some poles, hiking poles, and other things stashed back here. So there's also some utility space on either side. You can see the head of my bed. That's where the pillows are going to be. Then we come up here and we have tons of space. Pretty cool. This is a shoes off kind of area. So I take my shoes off, but you'll see the driver's seat, pretty normal. I've got my co-pilot. This is Hockey Cat. Lindsay Smith gave me him. And I've got the cooler in between the seats. It fits nicely there. I can also open it easily while driving to grab a drink or something. Got my curtains in the back seat here that can go up to cover the windows, as you saw if you watched the other videos. And my trusty Atlas behind the seat here. Got my adventure hat. Everything's all nice and clean and ready to go. This is my sort of hanging out stash. There's some snacks in there, my tarot cards, some coloring materials. It's like my living room in a box, sort of, which is perfect because this is my chill space in here. And then, of course, there's the bed. Super, super warm. Like, there's no way I'm going to get cold, even in Alaska and up there in the Yukon, even if it gets cold at night. I've already spent the night in here outside at like 40 degrees, so that's supposedly as cold as it's going to get up there. So it should be totally fine. I've got a bit more space clearance here, as you maybe can tell if you looked at it earlier in the video. That's because Johnny was nice enough to swap out the mattress, and his is a lot narrower than mine was. So yeah, that's it. I've got my chair stashed here on the side. It fits kind of nicely there, so if I want to go hang out outside somewhere, I got a seat. And that's about it. So that's my journey to Colorado Springs. I'm here for a few more days because I'm waiting for my house to close, and I've got to do that remotely in Denver. So I'm going to stick around a bit longer than I had planned, which is totally fine. Everything should be good with that. It gives me more time to hang out with some of my favorite people. And then I'm moving on up north. I get to see my aunt soon. And then I'm going to cross over into Canada. And so you guys will get to see all of that. I hope you're hearing some of this thunder and lightning. That's been one of the coolest things about being here in Colorado these few days. So much thunder and lightning. People tell me it's not always like that, and that this rain is unusual, and I think it's kind of fitting because I'm coming from Washington and this is going to be my new home base, and so I think I brought the rain with me and the cooler temps. So that's been nice. One thing I'll say, which you probably already know, but I had forgotten kind of in my life, is that 90 degrees in Colorado is nothing like 90 degrees in Washington. 90 degrees here I can actually handle. It's actually like kind of nice. A little too hot still, but like I can deal with it. 90 degrees in Washington is so annoying. It's really, really humid there, and the heat is just a different beast. So it's nice here. But yeah, got to see lots of thunder and lightning, and it's been a fun time. I'm sad to go, but I'm also really, really excited because I feel like this next few mini legs of this Alaska and northern Canada leg are going to be some of the most epic parts of the journey. For sure there's going to be a lot of kind of solitude stretches without any kind of civilization, and just a lot of wilderness and beauty in nature, which is what I'm really looking forward to. So it'll be pretty cool. I'm really glad that so far I've just seemed to find so much help and support on my way, which has been fantastic. Made me feel like even more ready for the journey. You know, people have asked me multiple times in multiple different ways if I'm scared, and maybe there's something wrong with me, but I'm not scared. I'm just as scared as I ever am. I guess, you know, no matter what you're doing, you can find adversity and struggle, and no matter what you're doing, you can find grace and help along the way, like from all the people you guys have seen who have helped in different ways. So I'm just very lucky, and I wish I could take you all with me. I guess I kind of am by doing it this way with these little video journals that you get to watch. But yeah, I'll see how many more people I can find along the way and share with you. So thank you for everything, and travel well, aim for balance, and always look inside first.